Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of reading you an excerpt of my favorite book to convince you to read it. Today, I will be reading you an excerpt from The Glass Gate by Hannah Sandvig. The very first reading video that I posted on this channel was from The Rose Gate, which is the first book in her fairy tale romance series. And this one is the second. She has a couple of novellas that she also wrote, and I'm not really going to get into like the order of those. Maybe in another video I'll talk all about this series, but all you need to know is this is the second book, and it is a retelling of Cinderella, and I really, really love this one. I really do. It's amazing. Even though Beauty and the Beast is my favorite, she did this one so well, and the character of Ella, aka Cinderella, is one of my favorite. I think she's like my second favorite character in like the series pretty much. She's amazing. And something that I kind of loved that Hannah included in this story is that the character of Ella deals with anxiety, and it was very it was written on like a very personal, like relatable way. And I really related to it a lot because I have also dealt with anxiety. And so a lot of the scenes that she wrote where Ella is like kind of having to deal with like her feelings and everything, it was very grounded and very, very real, which I loved. So anyway, something is in my eye. Goodness. So anyway, I'm going to read you an excerpt really quick from the back, and then I'm going to read you, well, not an excerpt. This is like the blurb from the back, and then I'm going to read you the excerpt. So that's how it's going to go. All a girl needs is a good dress and some magic shoes. Prince Charming is optional. My goal was simple: create a killer fashion design portfolio, win the scholarship to the school of my dreams, and never have to clean my stepfamily's house again. I just needed some inspiration. A little fashion magic. I didn't expect literal magic. But when my friend dressed me up like a fey princess and whisked me away to fairy, the food, the dancing, the dresses, this was just the inspiration I needed. So when the crown prince asked me to stay and be his fake girlfriend, I jumped at the opportunity. Prince Tiernan is gorgeous and charming, but I'm just a part of a plot to find his bride. That's fine by me. I'm just here for the fashion. No messy feelings. On the other hand, it's very hard to not have my head turned by a boy who gives me a dragon egg. I can't lose sight of my goals, though. I need to win that scholarship. Putting my heart on the line for a prince is just too risky. Am I brave enough to try? Maybe if I find the right dress. Where's a fairy godmother when you need one? So yeah, this story, so sweet. You will absolutely fall in love with Prince Tiernan. I love him. Unlike the Rose Gate was just from the point of view of the main female character, Isabel. This book is actually a dual POV, so you get to read from Prince Tiernan's point of view as well as Ella's. It's got the whole fake dating trope, and it's done in like a really good way that actually makes sense, because I've read quite a few books. Okay, not quite a few books. I've read a couple of others that like have like the fake dating trope, and there's one in particular. I'm not gonna name names, but I probably will maybe make a video about it at some point. I don't know, just because it really rubbed me the wrong way. And it wasn't really the fake dating trope, it was other stuff. But I feel like this one does it the best because it's that good. And also this book is pretty special to me because I won it in a giveaway that Hannah was doing. She doesn't do like a whole bunch, but she has done like quite a few giveaways in the past. And I've had the honor of winning a few of them. And this one was the first one I won. It has kind of a little special page in the front, has my name in there. I love it. So anyway, a couple of the things to note from the excerpt that I'm reading you. It's kind of in the middle. And again, nothing that I'm really saying is like too spoilery. It's like something that's known pretty much within like the first kind of few chapters, I would say, of the book. So it's not really a big spoiler. But basically, at this point, Ella is still kind of doing her whole, like, you know, like the fake dating thing. And she has like this magic that makes her ears look like fae. Like it looks like the pointy, like elf ears, basically. And she has not revealed to anyone that she is human, because that's like a whole part of like how she gets into fairy basically. That's all I'm gonna say, is like her friend that brings her in kind of like helps her disguise herself as a fae, because like one thing I do love that Hannah writes is that like she doesn't make the world of the fae out to be like super dangerous, as I have read in like one or two other books. Like, I kind of don't like it when they make it to where the world of fairy is like so dangerous you don't know who to trust. I don't like that. Just give me cozy, like fun fantasy adventure. And so that's what I love about this, is that it's not that dangerous. I mean, there is still danger, obviously, but it's like not this super scary, like, you know, and all, yeah, it's not weird like that. It's just more like soft and gentle, and you know, it's cozy and sweet. Okay, that's basically all you need to know. But there is still like the slight kind of danger. There is like the hint of like, well, it is possible that like, you know, a fairy princess, you know, like finds out that you're a great artist and might want to, I don't know, like keep you at her court because you're a great artist or you're a great seamstress or whatever, you know, like there is kind of that danger of that, really, but it's like not, you know, it's not like a big danger as compared to other things. So anyway, but Ella, she's still, you know, she's still keeping the fact that she's human to herself, because, you know, that's kind of how she met Tiernan in the first place, and she doesn't want to immediately be like, oh yeah, by the way, like, I'm agreeing to be your fake girlfriend, but I did lie to you. I'm actually human, so she's not gonna do that. So there's a little bit of like the whole, like, you know, like kind of a little bit of a liar revealed type of thing, but it's not done in like too cliche of a way. It's really well done, because it's understandable why she did that to protect herself. Anyway, so at this point, she and Prince Tiernan and like his kind of little band of warriors, they're kind of traveling the country, kind of through the woods. They're doing some camping. Ella is not the best at camping. She is not very outdoorsy herself, but she has come along because it is safer for her to be with Tiernan and his friends than it is to be at the palace in the capital of the country. So it's safer for her to be with the prince, obviously. And so this scene is pretty much like right in the middle of the book. They're camping, all the things. They just had a night where they visited a village. It was so sweet and fun. And now she is asleep in her tent. And just watch. It leads into one of my favorite scenes with her and the prince. So anyway, beginning here. I woke in darkness. Just once. I would love to sleep through till morning. Keo. Oh, I forgot to mention, Keo is the name of her baby dragon that she gets. That's all I'm gonna mention. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's just say that's the little baby dragon egg that she got. And also, like, the name is Japanese. And Ella is like half Japanese, and there is like a fun little mix of like kind of Japanese folklore in this, mixed in with the main like kind of Celtic inspiration for the world of fairy. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, she named the dragon Kiyohime, but Keo for short. Keo rumbled grumpily and tucked her warm little body more firmly against my side. I closed my eyes and thought about sleeping. Just go back to sleep. Unfortunately, I had to pee. You're fine, I told my bladder. Really? My bladder said back to me. Then maybe you shouldn't have drunk 1 glass of mead and 6 glasses of iced tea. I sighed. It made an excellent point, but my bed was so comfy, so much better than I would have expected in a tent. I even had a fluffy duvet rivaling mine back at the castle, if a little smaller. I could hear Sorsha breathing steadily in the dark and tried to match my breathing to hers. Sorsha, really quick, is Prince Tiernan's like adoptive sister, who is also a part of the band of warriors. So, sadly, I was fully awake now. Not only did I have to pee, but my mind raced around in circles, pointing out all the people I was lying to, not to mention how upset they would all be when they found out that she's human. Did I need to did I need to think about this now? In the middle of the night? Apparently I did. I sighed. There was no helping it. I needed to get up and pee. I was still in my clothes. It occurred to me that I didn't actually remember getting into the tent. I found my boots beside my bed and loosely tied them, pulling my cloak around me to ward off the cold night air. Upon exiting my warm bed, I crept to the edge of the tent. The ground under me swayed. Odd. I opened the flap to the outside and screeched as I nearly fell to my death. Yes, that's right. The tent was hanging from a tree. Ella? Saoirse mumbled sleepily. You all right? The tent is in a tree, I hissed back. Saoirse yawned. It's my gosh, I can't not pronounce these names. I'm sorry. It's Kusith territory. What? You know, giant greenhounds, red eyes. The twins swear that if you hear one bark 3 times, you'll die, but I think that's just because it'll have eaten you by then. I squinted into the night. I didn't see any red eyes. They don't climb trees, she added. Then how am I supposed to go to the bathroom? I yelled back at her. Well, the guys just opened the flap and I don't need to know. What about us? Hold it? Sadly, not an option. I stared down at the mossy forest floor below, looking for signs of movement. Well, take a lantern. You'll be fine. Sally says they haven't seen one in months. I sighed. Want me to come with you? Saoirse asked in the tone of someone who clearly did not want to come with me. No. Okay, good. See you in the morning. Saoirse rolled over. I took a deep breath and climbed down the little rope ladder. Luckily, it wasn't a long drop. I peered at the lantern when I got to the ground to make sure I hadn't been rattling some poor Shiri, but it was only a little glowing ball of magic. My heart raced as I walked past the glow of lanterns strung in front of each tent and in the trees, my mind conjuring fangs and claws out of each snapped twig or thrown shadow. I peed faster than I had ever peed before. Yanking my pants back up, I grabbed the lantern. My fingers shook around the handle when something rustled behind me. It was not my own feet in the leaves this time. I froze, my breath coming in gasps. A twig snapped. I found myself too terrified to scream. My heart hammered in as my ribs constricted. My mind painted such a vivid picture of the monster behind me that even when gentle fingertips grasped my arm, I whimpered, imagining the scrape of claws against my skin. Hey, Tiernan. Not a monster. Just an arrogant princeling. Ella, you're shaking. Are you okay? I nodded jerkily. Just a reflex. I was not okay. I had thought I was managing without my meds. I told myself that my trouble sleeping was only because of an unfamiliar bed. My growing jumpiness was an understandable reaction to the stabby politics around me. That's not all it was, though, and I knew it. My jaw clenched as I tried to slow my breathing. I failed. I tried to come up with some flippant comment to keep Tiernan from seeing how weak I was, falling into pieces from a sound in the forest, afraid of the dark, like a child. Still nothing came out. Tiernan looked at me with concern. He took my lantern and examined me quickly before taking my hand in his free one. Come with me, he said firmly. I stiffened as he led me farther away from the safety of the tents. Not far, he promised, and sure enough, after only a few paces, the forest opened up to a small lake. Tiernan whispered something to the lantern, which flickered and faded. Our only lifeline to safety was gone. I whimpered. You're safe with me. Sand crunched under my feet as he led me to the edge of the water and eased me down to sit in front of him, my back against his chest. I felt his calm, reassured breathing, and knew he had slowed it for me to match. I tried to match his breaths, failed, and tried again. My eyes adjusted to the night without the lantern. Above me, millions of stars came into focus, like someone had gathered an armload of sequins and thrown them across deep blue velvet. I've never seen so many stars, I said in wonder. They're always there, but you have to get far enough from the city lights to be able to see them. I suppose that was true. Even though no one would call Pilot Bay a city, it was never truly dark. "That's not why I brought you here," Tiernan said in my ear. "Look down." I did. At first it seemed that the lake must be full of stars as the sky glowing in shades of blue and purple. Tiny little shapes like translucent flowers drifted in the water, each holding a little glowing spark inside. Chapter 24. The glowing flowers moved like jellyfish, but trailed little shimmering paths behind them that slowly faded into the dark water. My breath finally slowed as I watched the little flower fish. I realized how pressed up against Tiernan I was, one of his hands entwined with mine, resting on my knee. The other hand gently played with the ends of my silky hair. "I'm sorry I startled you, Ella. I don't like to carry lanterns. The bright light makes it harder to see as well in the dark on clear nights." I can see why. I relaxed into him a bit more, and he tucked my head under his chin. I tried not to read too much into it. I didn't want to think too hard and break the spell the lake had put over us. "Why are you up?" I asked instead. "I have something on my mind," he admitted. "I couldn't sleep, so I relieved Haru and took this watch." "Why were you roaming around the forest in the dark?" "I had to pee," I admitted with a sigh. "Saoirse told me to watch for Kusith." I felt the amused rumble in his chest. "Saoirse, of all people, should know better." "What do you mean?" "You're often a bit anxious, yes?" "Yes?" No, wait. "Yes," I sighed. That was me, the pampered city girl. "Do you sleep well?" "Occasionally." "And your thoughts," he said. "They circle around in the dark places of your mind more than you would like?" "Yes. Yes." I held a breath and then slowly let it out. "Apparently, I have anxiety." "Having anxiety. That's a good description for it." "You seem to know a lot about it," I said suspiciously. There was no way this strong and fearless leader had mental health problems. "I do. I grew up with a sister who felt all the same things." "Who?" I racked my brain, trying to remember if Tiernan had another sister. He laughed. "Saoirse, obviously. You have met her." "I have, and that's why I can't believe that the strongest person I've ever met has the same weakness inside her that I do." "You should talk to her about it yourself. It's not my story to tell. But I must say, spending every day waging battle against fear inside you is not my idea of weakness. There's a strength in it that I will never understand." I turned his statement over in my mind. I wasn't sure if I believed it, but it was a relief to have finally told someone, and even more so to have him not look upon me with pity or disgust. And that is the end of the excerpt. There's a little bit of a longer kind of bit to read, but I really wanted to read it because it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole book. It's so sweet. I remember the first time I read it, I think I teared up and almost started crying because it perfectly described what I have gone through before. And it was just I just love the fact that the prince is just that's not what I would call weakness. Facing all this fear and swirling thoughts inside of you and still being able to live life every day, that's strength. And just when he when he was just I wouldn't call that weakness, I was just oh my God, Prince Tiernan. And yeah, and it keeps getting better from there because Ella does end up kind of, getting some help for it. She ends up talking to the character of Saoirse, who is also Tiernan's adoptive sister. And it's really sweet. It's adorable. And yeah, I highly recommend this book for just so many other reasons, because it has someone who deals with anxiety. It's written from a really a good relatable standpoint, because I think Hannah Sandvig has dealt with anxiety before and stuff like that. And so she wrote it in a very realistic way. And yeah, and then also, like, on a story note, it has a lot of fun tropes. It's got fake dating. It's got some, like, political intrigue. And it's got, like, fun, like, fairy tale creatures and characters in it. And a little bit of, like, kind of Japanese folklore thrown in there as well. Which I will say is kind of fun because, like, her main inspiration for this world is obviously the Celtic, you know, world of the Fae and everything. But she kind of builds upon it with, like, bits of other folklore from other countries as well. So not just Japan, but in The Frostgate, which is her newest book, that is a Snow White retelling, she throws in a little bit of the Norse kind of influences as well, with, like, the kingdom of the dwarves and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's fun. But yeah, I highly recommend this. The whole reason why I'm kind of doing this series is mostly I'm trying to, like, kind of highlight books or series that I feel like don't get a lot of love or attention whatsoever. And, you know, if anything, I'm hoping that I can just, you know, if I can boost, you know, these authors' sales just a little bit and kind of help them out, or just, like, by word of mouth, just get their stories out there to a more broader audience, you know, I'd love to do that. Also, all of her books are clean romance as well. We love that. We absolutely do. And one thing that I like to say is that it's clean romance, but it doesn't compromise good storytelling, because I do feel like there are a lot of, like, clean stories out there that are just kind of, like, cheesy, but it's got a lot of sass, it's funny, the humor is amazing, and it's just, and it's clean, because clean doesn't always mean boring. So anyway, hopefully you'll give it a chance. And yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and, you know, stay tuned for whatever is next as well. Thank you for watching. So please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Go follow me on Instagram and TikTok and all the things. Because yeah, I'm an influencer now, you know. It's just me and my iPhone against, not really against anything. It's just me and my iPhone just trying to do YouTube. So anyway, all right, I love you guys, and God bless, and I'll see you later. Or I guess you'll see me later. Bye. Mwah.